I noticed the card before I sat down. White cardstock, folded neatly, my name written in a decorative script. For a moment I thought someone had made a mistake. Then I read the word printed beneath it. The failure. The table was already half full. My sister was glowing the way people do when an entire evening has been designed around them. Her fiancé sat beside her like a guest star in someone else's production. Our parents were at the center, smiling in that careful way they always did when something uncomfortable was happening, but no one wanted to acknowledge it. My cousin leaned over and laughed. "Oh, come on," he said. "It's a joke." A few people chuckled. Someone clinked a glass. My sister covered her mouth, laughing just enough to show she hadn't planned it, but not enough to suggest she minded. I stood there holding the chair. The strange thing wasn't the joke. It was how normal it felt. For years my role in the family had been loosely defined but widely understood. I was the one who tried things that didn't work out. The business that folded. The job that ended suddenly when the company downsized. The apartment I had to leave when rent climbed faster than my paycheck. Every gathering had its version of this. A comment disguised as teasing, a story retold with the rough edges sanded down into humor. I sat down, the waiter poured wine. Someone began talking about wedding venues. My sister's fiancé described the honeymoon they were planning as if the whole room had helped design it. In a way, I had. 2 months earlier my sister had called me late at night, anxious about deposits and reservations piling up faster than her savings. I had transferred money without making a big deal of it. I had used my credit card to hold the restaurant reservation for the engagement dinner. I had also let her borrow my car for the last few weeks while hers was in the shop. None of that had been mentioned tonight. The place card sat beside my plate like a quiet label someone had finally decided to print. Across the table, my father raised his glass. "To family," he said. Everyone echoed it. I lifted mine too. For a moment I watched them, really watched them. My mother's polite smile, my sister leaning toward her fiancé. The cousins enjoying the evening. No one looked cruel. Just comfortable. I stood. The room quieted slightly, the way it does when someone unexpected takes a turn speaking. "I should probably say something too," I said. The wine glass felt steady in my hand. "To family," I repeated. Several people smiled, relieved that I seemed to be playing along. "The kind you grow up with," I continued, "and sometimes, the kind you eventually learn to live without." A few people blinked, unsure if they had heard that correctly. I took a sip of wine, set the glass down, and pulled my chair in. Then I walked out. No one followed me immediately. At first they probably assumed I needed air. Outside, the night was quiet and cool. The restaurant's lights glowed softly behind the windows. My sister's borrowed car sat along the curb. Technically, it was still mine. I unlocked it and sat inside for a moment before starting the engine. The silence felt strange after the noise of the dining room. My phone was already in my hand. The first call was to the restaurant manager. "Hi," I said calmly. "This is the person who made the reservation under my card tonight. I need to withdraw payment authorization for the event." There was a pause. "Are you certain?" he asked carefully. "Yes," a longer pause. "Understood." The next calls took longer. The hotel reservation for the honeymoon suite. The car service booked for the wedding weekend. The private dining room deposit for a rehearsal dinner my sister had mentioned wanting. Each confirmation number disappeared one by one. Every conversation was polite. No one asked why. When I finally drove away, my phone had begun vibrating with messages. At first they were confused. "Where did you go? Are you coming back?" Then came the second wave. "Did you cancel something? The manager is asking questions. What did you do?" My sister called twice. I didn't answer. The road ahead was empty, lit only by scattered streetlights. I drove slowly, not because I had nowhere to go, but because I wasn't in a hurry to arrive anywhere. The anger I expected never really came. Instead there was a strange kind of quiet. For years I had tried to earn my place at that table, fixing problems, helping quietly, proving I could still be useful even when I wasn't impressive. Tonight I had finally stopped trying. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a text from my mother. "You embarrassed your sister tonight." I looked at the message for a long time before locking the screen. The car moved through another dark intersection. Maybe I had embarrassed her. But for the first time in years, I didn't feel embarrassed myself. And the difference between those two things felt bigger than anything that had happened inside that restaurant.